right, we got some time to push this thing even further. Kevin Green joins us to examine the possibilities. So we got it, KG. We're at an all-time high here. What are you looking at?
Today I would say we saw actually a lot of rolling activity, Oliver, which has been, for the most part, actually bullish here. So I wanted to actually call that out first before maybe we hit the charts, because I think you would find this actually very interesting. We actually saw about $1.34 million worth when it comes to premium of somebody getting into the December 20th 5,800 calls, just outright long. That's a lot of money to not spread off. So I think that's one bullish trade. And then also saw a pretty big roll here from the October 18th 5650 calls, rolling those to the 5,900 calls, and those are going to expire at the year end at 12 on December 31st. Here, that was around a $16 million trade. Basically, seeing a lot of activity of rolling puts to the upside here, rolling calls to the upside. This is exactly the activity that we want to be able to see to try to keep this momentum going here, not only just for the close for today, but also moving forward. Now we have this wall. We kind of talked about some of the activity this morning. The 5775s actually saw the first initial call selling in the pre-market, and that was actually followed up by aggressive buying of call options at the 5780 level. Now we continue to see that kind of ramp to the upside here, but we've been able to push through a lot of this gamma wall, if you will. Now if you're talking about a squeeze to the upside, I would say 5805 would be like that long shot area, around 45,000 contracts still traded there for today's session, and that would probably be your squeeze from where we are at right now, which we're sitting at around 57.88. So that would actually be a pretty decent shot. The only other thing I would kind of call out here, today's move, Oliver, has been all equal weight. It's been the breadth in this market, 80%, over 80% of the stocks moving to the upside. And the laggards have really been the mega cap names. If you're looking at an NVIDIA or even looking at a Google, if we actually do see the spike into the close, which we are seeing right now, you want to see those individual stocks actually starting to participate. That's going to give you those levels. We are actually squeezing as we speak right now, Oliver. So this is actually a really good price action for the remaining 27 minutes that we got to go for the close here.
All right. So if we start to cross 5,800, then the chase could be on even more.
I would say, I would say 5805 would kind of be that area to kind of focus on. Once again, that's where you see a lot of speculators over the last 30 minutes have been getting into those calls on the long side. That's where you can squeeze those dealers higher. Now, it's all about time and it's all about price. The quicker we can get to 5800, 5805, the more potential that we have for a squeeze. If we kind of get to 5805 and it's only 5 minutes left to go in the market, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get that further squeeze to the upside, even though I would say even a close here at these levels has been a remarkable day, but it's all about the time. So you want to see in the next 5 minutes, 8 minutes, trying to push another 8 points to the upside, getting you to that 5800 level. That could create that dynamic of a further squeeze to the upside. I'm just looking at the 5805s and saying that could be a pin risk area where a lot of speculators do have a fair amount of options action going on right now that leaves dealers exposed when it comes to upside potential.
All right. Okay. So is there anything worth talking about in terms of levels lower? Have we fully moved beyond the range, KG, or is there still some magnetism, some pull from the kind of mid to low 57s? How would you characterize a full breakout? Like, when will we know we left this range behind?
So if we bring that volume chart up again, I would say the key technical type of pattern that you might want to see to kind of confirm that we're kind of done with these levels, at least for now. They're never going to be over with, right? But at least for now, is actually a breakout to the upside. Try to hit that 5800, close above that 5800 level, no matter what it is, 5801, 5805, 5820, who cares? If you come back and actually retest that upper channel line that we have there, that we've been highlighting, it's been that key area of resistance. You come back, retest it, treat it as an area of support. That's around the 5750, 5760-ish area. And then we bounce higher and continue to move higher. That's when you know that we are probably done with these levels for now until another event does come to mind here. But I would suspect that tomorrow, Oliver, we will have new levels on the open interest side of the equation just because of the roll activity that we're seeing. Most likely going to start seeing the 5820s, 5830s catching a little bit more steam to the call side. That would be the positive gamma area. And if you're looking at these roll-ups, I mean, some of these individuals are looking at 5830 puts. That's above the market right now, and they're already buying them, which is amazing to say the least. So I would say we probably will have a restructuring if these flows can stick, if these positions actually do stick overnight, we probably will have a refresh higher here. That's a good setup, especially for CPI coming out tomorrow. That's actually a pretty decent setup if we have something that comes in line or lower than the street's expectations. That can give you that gap higher. And this histogram kind of gives you that picture, if you will, right? This is the open interest that we have right now. There's a massive gap there. Until that next, meaningful level above that 5,800 level. That's where you want to see that squeeze really taking place here. That's something that actually could be in place for today.
Okay. All right. So we're kind of like, it seems like we're almost home free in a way as far as like the gamma pressures go as we continue to shift up, and then also just kind of getting into, that's where we're talking with Ed about the frothy, the melt up stuff. Like, we're not there yet. This has still been pretty measured, but it seems like maybe a couple days away, and then you might start to get a little melty.
I think the only thing that's holding us up right now, Oliver, is the volatility index. If you're looking at the VIX, we're still above 20. We have not broke 18.5, and that's been the key area of that I've been focusing on. Once we kind of flush through 18.5, that probably will give you that all clear signal. Now, obviously, if we're kind of looking at the October fixed contract, that's pricing in the election premium that's in there. So maybe a little bit more of an elevated VIX than what we're used to, but you still want to see some incremental gains for the volatility index as we continue to reach newer highs here. One thing to kind of note, the VIX is only moved down 0.69 points today. I mean, it for the most part has not been, it's unchanged.
Yeah,
and
true.
so that's something that you really you want to keep that in the back of your mind. That's not a stocks up, VIX up scenario technically, but if you kind of look at the move that we had today and where the VIX is right now, I would say that would be, for the most part, the equivalent. And we kind of know that usually that kind of spells for maybe a little bit of a pullback, which that pullback, once again, kind of like I highlighted here, come back, test 5750, go back, and then move higher. I think that would be technically a really clean break of some of these resistance levels that we've seen over the last 2 to 3 weeks.
All right. VVIX up too. So vol moving higher and VIX not coming down. Nice. All right. Yep. Great stuff. Thank you, Kevin.